Good morning and welcome back to the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. My name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning. If you're watching this live, thanks for that. If you are watching this later, we are pre-recording these, or if you are listening later, we appreciate that as well. Jumping into the traffic real quick, you're looking at major delays on I-12 westbound heading back into Livingston Parish from Sherwood till about Juban. It's going to be a rough day on the interstate. If you haven't left yet, would highly recommend that you take surface streets. Right now, the delays are pretty minor there at 4H Club Road, River Road, N190. Probably going to start stacking up as folks realize that the interstate's pretty backed up. Looking at minor delays at Juban Road and 190 as well. Of course, the normal delays in and around the high school as those folks are filing in and out of school and dropping their kids off. Minor delays on 64 heading into Central, with minor delays on Greenville Springs as well. It's currently 65 degrees, 78 degrees, your overday high. How about that? It's currently 65 degrees, 78 degrees is your high today, 62 your overnight low. So we're getting into those, 20-degree fluctuations right now as winter gives way to spring. So please keep that in mind. Going to be a little chilly at night, but it's going to be warm during the day. Last night, first, before we jump into zoning, which seems to be the topic, a big topic there at the Parish Council, we are up to 6 presumptive cases of coronavirus in Louisiana. We're looking at keeping an eye on that. Most of them are centered in New Orleans. Yesterday, or Monday, when the session started, Governor John Bel Edwards announced that the first presumptive case had been discovered. Now we're up to 6. Recommended that you wash your hands, try to avoid large crowds at the moment. No need to panic, but no need to not take care of yourself as well. So remember, keep the hands washed, keep the hygiene up, trying to avoid large crowds at the moment while they're trying to make this die early. Of course, New Orleans has canceled a lot of their St. Patrick's Day events this weekend. As far as we know, the Baton Rouge St. Patrick's Day Parade is still on for this Saturday. So we'll see if that continues to go on as scheduled, depending on, I guess, how this goes during the week. Of course, the coronavirus does have a high viral count. It's very viral, it spreads very quickly. So they're trying to get on top of it as quickly as possible. Now, back to the zoning. The Master Plan Committee met last night. They brought in Mr. Jack Clyer from Walker. He is the head of planning and zoning. That commission came in to talk about their Unified Development Code, which is sort of their guideline for zoning within the city. It talks about, and of course planning, because it talks about how each piece fits together and what goes inside each piece. So if this is residential and zoned, say, R80, then homes have to be this amount of square footage. They have to have this kind of lot size with this kind of setbacks. So it's very strict. It kind of talks about individual zoning pieces, what's required within them, and pulls it all together and sort of, what can go next to each other, how far apart a commercial property should be from a residential property, what should separate them, how far away industrial should be from residential, that sort of thing. So he discussed that with the Master Plan Committee because the Master Plan Committee has submitted a grant to try to upgrade the 2013 Master Plan, which has been adopted by ordinance by the parish, trying to upgrade the drainage portion and the zoning portion. So the zoning portion, in order to get upgraded, will receive funding, but they're trying to see, okay, just because we're updating the zoning portion, we kind of need to know what real zoning is, because there is no zoning in the parish. So they'll be looking to Walker and Denham for guidance on Unified Development Codes and how exactly to implement zoning. Of course, zoning right now is looking like it'll go into individual council districts and they will vote on it themselves as to whether or not they want it. So we will see going forward which parish council districts pick it up and which don't after the grant comes through, after the master plan is updated, and after a unified development code is developed for individual parish council districts. So still a lot of process to go before zoning is even proposed for a vote within the parish, but the parish council and the master plan committee are trying not to put the cart before the horse. They want to have a good understanding of zoning before, so that they'll be ready for the opportunity when it presents itself. So let's put it that way. Yesterday, at the Joint Committee of Infrastructure between the House and the Senate at the state level, they approved $1 billion worth of infrastructure projects, pending funding. So what that means is that there is a list of road and drainage projects for this year. It amounts to about $1.1 billion total if you throw in some small airport projects. You're looking at $730 million worth of roads, $260 million worth of drainage. They're going to have to wait for revenue estimation to come through finally, according to Dr. Sean Wilson, who is the head of DOTD. They're going to work until the money runs out, so we'll see how much of that list they get done. But right now, you're looking at about $1 billion worth of infrastructure projects in 2020. We'll see if that gets approved. Of course, it is pending funding, so whatever that means. We'll see what happens if revenue estimation pumps out enough money in the budget for them to do $1 billion worth of work. Walker faces Bonneville tonight at 8 p.m. in the 5A semifinals. In Lake Charles. Of course, Walker played Bonneville on November 30th, and I'm throwing my pin here this morning. They played Bonneville. Got it back. They played Bonneville November 30th. They lost that game. That was in an early season tournament. Walker's looking at growth and more depth on the bench as they've moved into sort of a new, grown as a team over the season. Like their chances a lot better this time. Of course, they're looking for their second straight title in 2 years. Bonneville's never won the title. Last year, Bonneville lost to Thibodeau, which is, of course, who Walker played in the state championship and lost to 70-60. So this year, looking at Walker versus Bonneville, 8 p.m. tonight in Lake Charles. Good luck to the Wildcats. William Weathers going into this game. Lots of features, couple of interviews with coaches and things like that. But a feature on Donald Butler. A lot of people know who Jalen Cook is, who is the LSU signee who plays for Walker. But he has a pretty good cast, and Donald Butler's one of them. Somebody who's grown as a player, has become an ancillary piece of that Wildcat team. You can read about him at www.livingstonparishnews.com/sports. According to William Weathers' article, he has risen to the occasion, and that is very true, and they're going to need all the depth they can get heading into Lake Charles. Denham was unable to erase a pretty early deficit. They went down 6-0 to Dutchtown. Eventually made it a game there in the late innings, but ended up falling 8-7. So they'll be looking to bounce back later this week on Friday. The Denham Springs Theater class department, will be looking to wrap up this year with an original play. It's a 1960s take on Romeo and Juliet called River and Juliana. I got that right. So it's very much, prep boys versus hippies in a Romeo and Juliet kind of setting. It's going to be very interesting. It will be this Friday and Saturday, March 13th and 14th. Tickets at the door are $8, and it'll be at Denham Springs High School. I believe in the Grady Hornsby gym. If not, it'll be in the old gym. But again, River and Juliana, it is a original play with a sort of a hippie and preppy take on Romeo and Juliet. Should be interesting. Officer Russell Levi continues to inspire, impress, do everything he can for his heroes, and his heroes are first responders. He has once again raised enough money for 3 sheriff's deputies to receive Angel vests. These are actually lighter, but also denser. They have more technology on them, to be able to track not only body camera footage, but, things like where the shot came from, how the shot hit, that sort of thing. So very cool vests. He donated them last Thursday at the school board meeting, and those went to Robbie Ellis, Chad Dupuy, and Angel Cruz of the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Department. Officer Levi raises funds and goes with his grandmother to deposit the money. He takes photos every time he goes to deposit the money to put them on social media. 9 schools participated in this particular fundraising event, raised $7,100 for those vests. So Officer Levi continues to inspire people to participate, to play along. And he goes from there and donates these vests to law enforcement to try to help save lives and try to help save his heroes. So thank you, Russell Levi, for being an inspiration to the rest of us to try to give a little back to our first responders. Jumping back into our traffic real quick, you're looking at major delays on I-12 westbound from Sherwood Forest all the way back to Juban Road this morning. So it's going to be a rough day. Right now, your surface streets are looking relatively clear. Considering what you got going on the interstate, that may not last long. You're looking at minor delays at 4-H Club Road, River Road, and 190, as well as minor delays on 64 heading into Central, with minor delays on Greenville Springs. Getting into that time of the day where most people have filtered out from the high school, still a lingering bit of traffic in and around Live Oak High School, Denham High, and Walker, so please keep that in mind. It's currently 65 degrees. 78 degrees is your high today, is your overday high, if you will. 62 degrees your overnight low, so it is going to get chilly. So it's going to get warm during the day, and then it's going to fall out and be a low 60s overnight. One last time, my name is McHugh David, publisher and editor of the news. Appreciate you joining us this morning for the Livingston Parish News Morning Show. We are filming it live, and if you're watching live, we appreciate it. We're also filming it to put up on YouTube because Facebook would not allow us to download our videos. So doing that as well. And so if you're watching this later or listening, we appreciate that as well. We're on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and YouTube. We are once a week in print on Thursdays. We also have a website, www.livingstonparishnews.com. We have an app to go with it. We appreciate you joining us. Again, I'm just very appreciative, very thankful for all the folks that decide to watch these, trying to stay informed. We try to keep you as informed as possible. We hope you have a great day. We hope you stay warm overnight. Go Wildcats, and we will see you tomorrow morning in the booth.